Part-Time Nerds, episode 2 of the podcast.
Yep, this is Con.
This is Ray.
Okay, so this week, Ray hit a big milestone in his adult life.
Yes, that is correct. I purchased an OLED TV for the third time. I hope to keep it that way.
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but yep, this is your third purchase. And yet you only have one TV.
Yep, we'll get into that a little more, but yes, this is the second podcast of Part-Time Nerds.
Yeah, we talked about OLEDs a little bit last week when it pertained to phones, but just kind of give the audience some kind of clarification. When we say OLED, we're talking about organic LED TVs. The next step in the evolution of television.
And humanity.
Oh, God damn it.
Yes.
So, not to get into semantics, but it's kind of the equivalent of when
we
TVs
invented fire.
Yes, of course. Yes. But in the real world, I was talking about when we first had tube TVs. Those were the big cubes that, everyone grew up with. And then we jumped over to plasma. Plasma wasn't as popular, but it was a jump. And then some might argue the jump from plasma to LCD was a step back, but that's beside the point. But here we are now. We've made the current jump, which is the organic LED TVs.
Yeah, but going back to the cathode tubes, they're still prevalent in today's day and age because of Melee.
Yeah,
we still
that's
need
Super
that.
Smash Brothers Melee.
That's correct. I just want to put that in there. But yes, continue with the OLED.
No, I like it. You brought it all the way back. I think it's very reminiscent of episode 1, so we're going to go way back to the beginning of time. Because, jumping right into the topic is not our style, apparently. So, Ray, what's your childhood history with TVs?
No.
You don't want to do that?
No, I'm good.
No, okay. Well, to give the listeners some context, I don't know, I want to say that I was the one that first brought up OLED TVs to you when we were in college.
Yeah, I think you definitely were. Yeah, I mean, you had the OLED phone first, obviously with Samsung.
Yeah, and then, so what happened was I was wandering through Best Buy, and I think it was roughly 2012-ish, when I was looking at all the TVs, when everyone was, the big hype was around, 4K and 3D TVs, and that's what all the Best Buy employees were trying to push, and then all of a sudden I look over there, I'm like, hey, what the heck is that guy? It was this, well, by today's standard, this small-ish TV, 40 inches, and it was only 1080p.
That was 2012-ish? That was
2012 or 2013.
Okay.
It might actually be earlier, but besides the point.
Yeah.
So it was only 1080p, but for some reason it just looked freaking amazing, and I couldn't put my finger on it. But anyways, it looked really good, and what it was is because the technology behind OLEDs is that there's no longer a backlight shooting through filters to get the color. What it is the individual pixels light up themselves, so there's an infinite contrast. Your black pixels are pure black.
Yeah, pixels discreetly turning on and off.
Yep, and that's why, as a whole, the picture looks really good. Anyway, so I want to say about 10 months back, I got my OLED TV.
Which model again?
The LG OLED E6. I've been eyeballing that TV for probably 1 year, 2 year, whichever iteration the TV was, but every couple of months that we'd see a good deal on it. But I couldn't jump the gun on it because I was living at my sister's house at the time and I did not have the space.
Yeah, the MSRP of these TVs go to the upper 2000s, $3,000, $4,000 price range.
Yeah, so
ridiculous.
When the TV came out, the base price was $4,000, and I kept seeing a deal on it, but I couldn't do it because I did not have space for it.
Oh, that's the only thing holding you back? Was that really the only thing holding you back, the space, finding a location for this TV?
Yes, but that is actually not the worst of it. So I moved out of my sister's house around the same time I got the TV, and it's not the biggest reason I moved out, but it is it was the reason that I was most excited for moving out.
And have the location, have the whole entire setup, couch here, TV there, console there.
Yeah, so
coffee table here.
I got it 10 years ago, but actually you bought your first OLED TV probably 4 months prior to me getting mine.
Yes, I believe so. March 2016. No, 17. It was a little after my birthday.
Oh, so it was only a month before I got mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a 65-inch. It was the B series model of 2016.
Yeah, the B6. which is kind of the entry level of LG's OLED series. But in all honesty, it doesn't matter. The panel is the same across the board.
Yep, throughout the entire series.
The only difference is kind of the speaker configuration.
The aesthetic of it all. But in terms of panel quality, they're the same.
Yeah, so if you guys are going to look into this, we would recommend just going into the lowest tier possible.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all about that quality, the picture quality.
So anyways, you had that TV for about a week.
I had it for about a week. I forgot how much it cost because it was the deal I found was about $2,300 open box at Best Buy. However, in checking the actual serial number and all this and that, it was only an open box as a demo for just a week at the most. So I had to jump on this deal. $2,300 for 65-inch OLED.
Yeah,
2016. That was a big deal.
That sounds like a lot to most people for a TV, but you got to recognize this technology is expensive
at 65 inches,
and it's actually pretty impressive how far LG's actually gotten the prices down.
Yeah, it's really impressive now.
But so point being is that TV was perfectly fine. You brought it home. We opened it up. I say we. I don't live with him. I just came over to help. But anyways, it was perfectly good, perfectly nice. Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it.
And yet you didn't keep it. What's the story with that, Ray?
Yeah, no nicks or knacks. We checked for ghosting, burn-in. None of that. It was true that the TV was only open for about a week at Best Buy. Nothing was wrong with this TV. What was wrong, I just felt guilty for the price. Even though it was an amazing deal at the time, I still felt guilty at that price range. I just got my new job recently, but I still felt guilty. Like I'm dropping this much on one single device. Even though this is something I'm into, I love gadgets, it's into my hobby, but I still couldn't. I had to return it after a week.
Well, you didn't have to return it.
I mean, I had to.
This was your internal guilt. There was no external guilt. Everyone you talked to was like, dude, keep it.
No, my girlfriend told me, no, you gotta return it.
No, she did not. No one did. Okay. No, don't do that. She loved it. Okay. She loved it as much as you did, but you talked yourself out of it. So,
yeah. In fact, she was playing Persona 5 on it after work each day for that week. Had a great time, and the following weekend, I said I have to return this.
But anyways, the following month I moved out, got mine, and we pretty much hung out at my place every weekend. Because it was that good.
Yeah, you finally got what was it again? The E6.
The E6.
So that's the picture on glass type of the models, right?
Yes.
With the sound bar at the base.
Yeah, the audio was quote unquote improved. Mm-hmm. Not the best, but it's built-in speakers. So that kind of started the whole addiction. I've been slowly kind of building out the entertainment center since then. But then, that's not the end of the story. You, a few months ago, bought another...
Yes, right before this Vegas trip we had for one of our friends' birthday, I had to go to his Best Buy, and I found another open box deal. It was a 55-inch, another the same model, B6, except it was 55 inches, $950 before tax.
Ooh.
So I got it. And I said, well, I could return it if there is a ghosting issue, because this time no one could actually concretely tell me that it was open for this amount of time. It could have been a year, it could have been a couple months. So
no guarantees there.
No guarantees there. But I said, I could always return it just like the previous time.
And that's the beauty of buying from Best Buy as opposed to like some weird dealer from eBay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, eBay is how I got my TV. It's worked out so far, though.
Out. There's no problems. There's a little ghosting here and there, but I mean...
Whoa! What are you talking about? No, not cool.
Just kidding.
It's not funny. We're talking serious business now. This is a serious podcast. I will get another guest.
Oh, okay. I'm the only guest here. No. I'm not even a guest. I'm a co-host, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh. We'll work out the semantics.
Okay, but the issue with the second TV.
The second OLED TV I purchased, there was ghosting. In fact, there was burn-in, so it was permanent.
Yeah,
it was burning.
A big old OLED lettering across the screen because it was set in the demo mode. They just didn't move it, change it.
And we tested it on this anime called Rurouni Kenshin. There was a bright white scene. You could clearly see the OLED logo on the middle of the screen.
Oh, that's fine though.
I had to return it.
No, you didn't.
I did though.
Oh yeah, you did. But patience is key to everything because you got a freaking sweet deal this time.
Yep. In fact, it's always after or before a trip. After we had a little mini SD San Diego vacation,
This was 3 days ago.
This was 3 days ago.
Yep.
I just checked on Slick Deals. All right, I'm going to type in LG OLED. Yeah. Someone posted a deal by Fry's. They weren't advertising it on their website or in-store. You have to go to them and ask. For the entire series across the board, C7P, E7P, and the C7P started at $1,199, so $1,200. And with tax, it's going to be $1,300. And then with the E7P, the model I decided to get, my third OLED purchase, with tax, it was $1,400.
This deal is so good. I was actually contemplating getting a second model for my bedroom.
For your bedroom?
Yeah, but we'll see how far this podcast goes.
I mean, today is the last day for the deal, February 3rd.
Oh, the deal is still live?
It's live until the end of the day, because tomorrow's the Super Bowl. February 3 is the last day for this OLED Fry's deal. I'm sure they're advertising it now because they're trying to sell these things.
I'm sorry to stop you, Ray, but we got to end the podcast right there. I got to make a public service announcement to a certain member of my family.
Everyone here. Actually, it's too late by the time you hear this.
Oh, no.
The deal's gone.
I'm going to release this episode in like 20 minutes. So it's been great.
It's been great.
I'm not going to show up here in a week and it'll be gone again, right?
No. This time, this is it.
It's real this
third time truly is the charm.
Mr. Big Shot over here, one-upping me with his fresher model.
It's the same thing. Essentially the same thing. It's 25% brighter, but really you don't notice that.
Oh, but you knew this.
I'm gonna lay out the specs for you. You know, I'm not gonna lie to the audience here. Mine is 25% brighter.
And that might not sound like a huge difference, but the idea is that it's never how bright something is. It's what it matters is the peak brightness versus the peak dark scene. Right?
Especially with HDR now, high dynamic range. With that brightness, you could have different levels and show that range off.
Right, and on top of your 25% brighter comment, you do have one feature that I legitimately am jealous about.
What is that?
Is that you
so
now
have... point this out.
No, I'm pointing it out. You now have Dolby Atmos pass-through.
Oh, I have Dolby Atmos pass-through. That's good. But for a lot of people, that's a good thing. So they don't have to worry about plugging this cable or that cable to this receiver or to that sound system with this wire and that.
See, that's me. I'm on a quest to eliminate as many remotes as possible. And because my TV does not have Dolby Atmos pass-through, I have to go directly from the soundbar to my Blu-ray player, and it's been driving me nuts. Because now every single time I'm watching a movie, I got to use like 3 different remotes to change the inputs, change the sound output.
Making sure all the configurations are right to get the correct audio and video.
Life on the bleeding edge is a pain in the butt.
But this deal is amazing, so you gotta jump on that.
It's too late. You just gotta sit there and be jealous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl deal, but there will be times to pick that up again. I'm sure there are gonna be more deals.
Yep, monitor Slick Deals, people.
Just monitor it.
We are a lot more.
No, it's pretty good. This is much more structured. Hopefully the audio is better. We don't know. I mean the desktop right now.
Yes, at the time of recording, we have not released episode 1 yet. That's my deal. My bad. But we don't have any listener feedback yet. But hoping to get that soon. We'll see.
Yeah, all we have is my girlfriend's feedback. That's it.
Oh, what did she think of it, by the way?
She thought it was good. It's just we had to work on the levels and then going off on a tangent too much.
But I like going off on the tangents. What I'm more concerned about is that somebody who doesn't have the same interests as us, are we like hidden covering a topic that's just so far?
No, that's the thing. We gotta stick to our liking, to what we want to talk about.
Yeah. And
then the audience will gravitate from there on if we're good enough.
Okay,
right?
Well, we'll
that's
see.
how it works. This is just fun. This is fun.
This is new territory for us because we've actually finished a topic.
Oh yeah, that's the OLED topic. I mean, we don't have a bullet point list for you at the top of the podcast, but we already talked about the OLED. That's my experience.
By the way,
Khan's experience.
I just want to point out that at the end of last week's show, I was correct in telling you that we should not tease topics because obviously we have not hit any of the topics that we were teasing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So, just pointing that out.
Bada bing.
But anyways, I think we have enough time to probably hit one more.
Let's hit one more. Yeah, we have time for one more.
Okay. I think what we need to talk about is let's switch it over to gaming a little bit, right?
All right, we have a caller in actually. No, we don't have a caller. Okay. Yeah, let's switch over to gaming because we are part-time.
part-time
nerds. But I mean, gaming, that is part of the culture.
We love gaming.
Yep.
Sounds super serial right now. No, seriously, I have a problem sounding sarcastic when I'm not.
Oh, okay, never mind. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. Do we want to hit the Nintendo Switch or the Xbox thing?
I think let's do the Xbox thing.
Let's do the Xbox thing.
I think that's a bigger impact. I think because Nintendo's thing is more of a tease of what's to come.
Oh, I was talking about a different Nintendo thing.
Never mind. We are very prepared.
I make it a point to not be super clear in our show notes just because I like to put you on the spot. But anyways, Xbox news. So it came out probably 1 week, 2 weeks ago that Xbox will be releasing a gaming service. Whereas opposed to buying individual games, you sign up for their monthly subscription similar to Netflix. And they will give you access to all their first-party exclusives, I believe is the deal. I haven't read up too much on it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Just this past week, they announced an update to the Xbox Game Pass. So they've already had this subscription service available.
See, I wasn't aware of that. I thought this was a brand new thing.
The big news is that all their first-party exclusives, like Microsoft Studio games, will be part of this subscription service, not just old Xbox games or old Xbox 360 library games. Now they're including all their new upcoming first-party games, including Sea of Thieves.
Oh, that sounds like a really good deal.
It's a really good deal, especially if you're into Xbox and console gaming. That's a really good deal. I mean, $9.99 a month. That's a good deal.
$10 a month to basically play as many games as possible.
Yeah, think about it. Yeah.
And I don't play as many games as I want to, but based on a subscription service, I think it would actually kind of give me incentive to play more often.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have that entire library.
Yeah.
Not just Xbox One, but Xbox 360 and the original Xbox.
And by the way, this isn't similar to PlayStation's service because PlayStation offers this kind of service, but what it is it's game stream over the internet, so the game doesn't actually run on your local system, so you get latency issues, lag.
Let's clarify that. So yeah, PlayStation Now is a service that Sony has, and essentially you get to play a lot of their old library games or older PS4 games, PS3 games.
No new games?
I don't believe the new games count. They're just part of the new. Actually, I don't even think the old PS4 games. Sorry, just PS3, PS2, PS1 classics. Wow. But the issue is it's all streamed because they made this big purchase of this company called Gaikai. It was like a streaming type of service. They made it into PlayStation Now. But you play those games through streaming, so you don't actually have that on your local hard drive of your console.
And just to be clear, I don't have any knocks about game streaming. I have it to some degree in my kind of setup at home as well. I do a game stream from my PC onto my Nvidia Shield, so I do love the idea. But given the choice, I would still rather play on the local system and not have to deal with any of the lag and anything like that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this Xbox option is amazing.
Yeah, if streaming worked, like if there wasn't any latency issue at all, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. The problem is the kinks haven't been worked out. You still have those issues of lag and just choppiness when you're streaming games over PlayStation Now.
And to bring like more light to this Xbox thing, I'm not necessarily surprised that they're offering this service because they are like pretty far behind.
They're behind
in terms of the market for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. So I'm not surprised to bring out the service. What I am surprised is that they're committing to all their biggest games. That's insane to me.
That's the huge news. Think about it. Like if you subscribe to this service, the next Halo game should be part of that service.
And that's a game changer because, knowing about this service, I wouldn't actually, it wouldn't incentivize me to do it at all. But knowing now that they're actually going to support it with their big titles, it might actually get me to buy an Xbox One.
And that's huge news too, because you think, oh, well, maybe that person will just subscribe for 2 months when new Halo comes out and then you just cancel it. But Microsoft really believes in this product.
And you know what? Microsoft is so behind this product. I was going to bring this up earlier, but I believe the actual way they're running their system is that you can download the game when you're subscribed. And even if you cancel the service, if you already have the game downloaded and you don't delete it, you still have access to the game.
No way. No. Are you sure?
I think I heard.
Are you sure? I gotta look that up.
We will look that up and we will have follow up.
That's way a game changer. I don't know about that.
But if it's true, it really does show how far Microsoft is willing to put their money where their mouth is with the system. The kind of feelings it's giving me, it's actually incentivizing me to buy an Xbox. That's exactly what they needed to do.
That's what they need to do.
They need to push their system because they're so far behind, and they're willing to go all in on it.
Yeah, and for the record though, even though they are behind, the PlayStation.
They're still doing pretty well.
They're still doing pretty well compared to, the previous generations from this year-to-year basis of its life cycle. But, I mean, PlayStation's doing so well. Nintendo's doing so well. It's just... They got to make some moves. And it's like a roadmap for them, too, preparing for the next generation. They have this set up. What's PlayStation going to do? Are they going to counter with their own subscription? Or do they want... Since they have the lead, I know they're not going to do that now.
Right.
But what about for the next generation?
Yeah, because essentially with every generation jump, the market resets. Because back in last generation, Xbox 360 was clearly outselling the PS3.
Yeah, they had a year head start, but even then, they still dominate throughout.
Yeah, that year head start's a really big deal because I think this year PlayStation came out like 8 months ahead of time.
It came first, but I don't think it was that much of a difference.
Okay, so what happened?
The price.
The price is what it was. Yep.
And what Xbox at the time was marketing. They were pushing it as an all-around
Right, they were
product.
pushing it as the media center as opposed to gaming.
Yep. They were saying this is the one device in your TV room.
Yeah. And
console, streaming, whatever.
You know what? I don't think that is the wrong route to go, but the problem is the venue that they chose. They chose to mention this as we're marketing this as not a gaming device, but as a media device. But they made that announcement at E3.
At E3. They pushed that marketing at E3.
Which is the biggest gaming conference in the world. And keyword being gaming conference. Nobody there is... They might care about, media like we do across the spectrum. But most people that are going to a gaming conference have their brain set for gaming news.
Yeah, so it's just wrong place, wrong time. Their ideas were actually pretty good. It's just they didn't execute, and then the way they delivered their message too was...
And at the time, they really did foresee how big Netflix and video streaming was gonna blow up. They did chase after the correct market. They just did not do the marketing in the right venue, and that's what blew up in their face.
They just couldn't deliver on the execution.
Yeah, but anyways, basically to give people some context, you have a PS4, correct? A PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And it's a PC. So
PC and a Switch.
And a Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
Son of a bitch.
It rhymed.
So you pretty much got your fingers and everything. You don't have an Xbox.
Yeah, but the only reason why I don't have an Xbox, even though they're making all the right moves, they don't have any major exclusives that are catching my eye.
Right.
But the thing is, I really believe they're looking towards the next generation. They're just trying to bide time right now.
Well, it's kind of also a self-fulfilling loop is because they don't have any exclusives because they're not moving as many units as PlayStation.
Yeah.
And now that they're not moving as many units, they're not going to get any exclusives, and it kind of just cycles in and out. But knowing you have pretty much every single system in the world, apparently, PS4, Switch, and PC. Is this going to sway you to get an Xbox One X at all? And I'm saying specifically One X because if you get any other model,
no, I think if I do, I really want to. I'm going to wait for the next generation. That's what I'm going to do because I really believe Microsoft is just prepping the next stage, the next generation.
I am really curious.
I really believe they already conceded this generation. That lead Sony already has, and Nintendo is really just ramping it up. Even though Nintendo started later, it's this weird generation type of gap.
Right.
But they're going to make ground and surpass Xbox in Switch's lifetime.
I think Switch is already ahead of Xbox sales. Or Xbox One X sales. Sorry, not Xbox One as well.
Oh, no. I grouped those together.
Okay.
One X is still part of the same generation. It's just type of a
We're just part-timers.
Upgrade.
We don't do any actual research here. This is just our gut feeling.
This is just anecdotal evidence. Now, we're just talking out of top of our heads.
I'm cutting that out, by the way.
Cut!
So anyways, what I was going to say is I'm wondering how this service is going to transfer when they do the generational jump. Yeah. Like to get their first party exclusives. I'm assuming that's their way of pushing the newer console is that, even if you have the subscription, you'll have access to all these games, but you'll have a way better experience upgrading to the next console.
Because you got to keep all your old Xbox One games, backwards compatibility, old Xbox games that are part of that Game Pass library, 360 games that are part of that Xbox Game Pass library, and a lot of games are already supported on Xbox 360 to put into your Xbox One. And then I'm sure they're going to do for the next generation because they're really pushing that backwards compatibility that Sony can't do.
Okay, so this is here we go into crazy crackpot theories.
Now
that Xbox is doing like this across the board game stream where everyone has access to everything essentially. Do you think that their next generation of consoles is going to get rid of the idea of like these newer games can only run on this system? Or do you think they're just going to make it so that every game is playable on every system?
Oh, okay, I see. Like a true like a traditional type of next box type of thing.
Next box, I like that. iNexus box.
Uh-huh.
Yep. You gonna have to mull that one over?
No, I still really believe that they're gonna go with the traditional. This is the next generation Xbox. However, it's still backwards compatible with all your old library games.
Right, because the thing is, with their next generation, I'm assuming, well, the newer games are going to have to be built off a stronger engine. You're going to need a stronger system. So that still applies, but I'm going to have to give me a really serious look at the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I used to be a console gamer pretty heavily. I had a PS2 pretty late in the game, but I did get a PS2 eventually, loved it. Got a PS3, loved it, but after that PS3, we went to college. I got introduced to PC gaming, and my love for consoles kind of just died. And the thing about PC gaming is it's a pretty expensive, entry pass, but then you get so many deals on the actual games themselves.
You get so many deals, yeah. That's why I have a PC too.
And the thing about PC gaming is that I'm a total spec head. So I love the idea of like building this overpowered PC that can handle as many games as possible.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of brings in my interest towards the Xbox One X. Yeah, I know that Sony's got a way bigger library, but just the fact that Xbox One X has bigger specs is really selling it.
That's why it's just...
I know it's illogical, but it's giving me a way bigger draw than the PS4 right now.
That's why it's troublesome for me, because I feel like Microsoft has that already. They have the specs. Now they just gotta churn out the actual exclusive games.
Right.
Everything is laid out there. They just gotta do the games now.
Yeah, well, their biggest exclusive used to be Halo. I honestly do not know what happened with Halo.
Yeah,
it used to be the biggest game in the world, and it was more popular than COD, but then COD just kept rolling out every single year.
And that's just a third party now.
And so all the hype for Halo just died.
Yeah, I know. After they switched to 343, it just slowly declined from there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're taking their time for this next iteration, making sure this one will blow up again.
Yeah, and everyone was like, oh, Bungie's gone. Halo's not going to be good anymore. Turns out Bungie's got their own host of problems with Destiny. Problems. Yeah, so we're not going to go into that right now, but
that's a whole other topic with
day.
Activision and Bungie. That's a whole other thing.
But yeah, I am going to mull it over, but I don't be surprised if I come back one day and tell you I got that Xbox One X. Because for me, what it is it's a big spec machine, and on top of that, this Xbox Game Pass is a really big incentive for me.
No, it's a huge incentive. You just gotta wait for the games. I wouldn't get it now. Just wait.
Wait for the games?
Or by the time they come out with those games, that next generation's out.
Yeah, and I do want an outlet to get back into console gaming. Because the problem with being a PC gamer is, we have the computer set up in our office upstairs. When I come home from work, I got like maybe an hour, 2 hours if I'm lucky. Thing is, I don't want to have to turn on the computer. It's just too much work. I just want to plop myself on the couch
SoCal commute.
and play a game.
Am I right?
Yeah, so I do have a semi kind of like TV living room gaming setup, but it goes back to that whole NVIDIA game stream thing. So it's double the work. I'd have to turn on the computer, turn on the game stream, debug the syncing issue, and then I can only play a specific game that doesn't require too much accurate inputs, because otherwise the whole internet lag and everything. It's fine for certain games, and it's not so great for other games. I don't want that mental burden. I just want to be able to turn on a console and go.
Yeah, just sit on the couch and just have a beer or something, just turn it on and play.
But Xbox One X.
Xbox One X.
I like what you're doing, Microsoft. Just make it work.
You just gotta they have everything set up. I like what they're doing. They're playing from behind. They're showing all their cards. I know they're doing that.
Just gotta execute. They got the correct drive,
Yeah, because there's also rumors about them. These weird rumors about them.
Oh no, you're not talking about them buying out
purchasing EA or Valve
and PUBG Corp.
Yeah,
that's
PUBG Corp.
insane.
PUBG Corp's the only one that just
that one's a possibility. But here's the thing: it wouldn't make them. I don't think it would make them any money.
Yeah, like what? Because I know it's a time exclusive, but you don't need to purchase them for that type of financial one-up.
And the EA is just ridiculous to me, because with
That's...
the monopoly that EA has on like sports games, it's up to debate whether or not people consider sports games actual games. Mm-hmm. But you can't argue how popular they are worldwide. Microsoft would have to pay an insane amount of money to buy a monopoly on.
I think the thing is, they can't afford it. It's just I don't know if it's worth it to them to do that.
I don't necessarily think they can afford it.
No, I think they can afford it.
Really?
Yeah. Microsoft's huge. Like that's the thing about them.
See, that's my problem. I always have this separation between Xbox, their Xbox division probably afford it.
And it's not like Xbox isn't doing poorly. They're doing well.
They're just not doing the best.
Yeah, just not doing the best. And Microsoft as a PC, they're still doing great, obviously.
So EA, ridiculous. EA would have to give.
They wouldn't let themselves get sold to Microsoft. They're not going to do that.
Nope.
So much money in that Madden and they're not going to do that.
And the thing with buying Valve is that Valve is doing really successfully. As a gaming platform. They own Steam, but here's the thing: Microsoft wouldn't get any benefits out of buying Valve. The reason Microsoft would buy them out is to get more exclusives into their Game Pass, I think. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: Valve doesn't really make games anymore. They got Counter-Strike. They got Team Fortress is pretty much
they're
dead.
Just living off that and updating that, iterating on that.
Yeah. So what benefit does Microsoft get out of buying Valve's Steam platform? Mm-hmm. None. Doesn't make any sense. Although I guess they could kind of use it to leverage to make their games for Windows Live service a lot better.
Yeah, maybe combine it all or something. I don't think they would, just because to keep the name away, because people love their Steam and then they don't want the Microsoft Store branding on there type of thing.
Yeah, so
it's better to separate it.
Yep, so those rumors are insane.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. I think Microsoft and Xbox, they don't really mind having the PC there. They're sharing exclusives on the PC themselves.
Which, by the way,
they don't care where you're playing it.
You're
buying Microsoft.
Love that. As terrible as a games from Windows Live service is, as a platform, I'd much rather have all my games on Steam. Mm-hmm. But their whole idea of having just a console exclusive, but you can still play it as an option on PC.
Yeah, they have that ability to do that. That's why it's awesome, because they're it's just about the software. It's still Microsoft. We don't care.
Although the problem with that is that now that they're giving me the option to play it on PC, it gives me less of a reason to buy the Xbox One X.
No, but then they don't mind. They're still going to benefit from that. Yep. It's still on their platform. So there's still Xbox can be just a platform looking forward. And then they still provide a box of the next generation. Because especially now with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they're apparently their architecture is similar to a PC. So you don't have to worry. There's just another box. You could either build your own PC or you could buy their Xbox. It doesn't matter to them. You're buying their games, right? That's all that matters.
Yep, absolutely. So in summary, I think we can both agree. We really love what Microsoft's game plan is. They just got to execute at this point, right?
Because what they're doing is great for the gamers, the consumers.
Yeah.
So it'll push Sony and Nintendo if this takes off.
Uh-huh. See, last year was a difficult year in gaming in terms of just the whole way every game is doing their whole financial system. It was kind of a dark mood where the gaming landscape was kind of just based on, who's screwing the consumers less.
Yeah, that was the narrative.
Right, yeah, and that's certainly the way it felt, with loot boxes and the whole thing. Microtransactions, but that was basically became a competition of, who's going to screw you less over. Mm-hmm. What I love about this Xbox news this year is I don't want to jump the gun here, but I am hoping this is going to start the race on who can do more for the consumer.
Exactly.
And even if Xbox doesn't necessarily take off, I just like the idea that they're going to create the competition, the market for making game streaming better.
Yeah, because
here's the thing. Yeah. It's very similar to what GameFly was doing a few years ago.
Yeah, GameFly.
I don't know if GameFly is still an active service, but what GameFly did is they were basically the gaming rental service similar to I don't even remember. Blockbuster.
Hollywood Video.
Man, rip in peace.
When were you born, man? Probably 15. No, I don't have any problems with 15-year-olds.
But so GameFly would rent out, monthly subscription. They would rent out physical media. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: with this day and age, GameFly was always limited by the amount of copies they have,
and then you have to wait for the copies to arrive,
which is the way Netflix used to operate. And I kind of love the whole story this is telling, how what Microsoft doing is mirroring the way Netflix evolved into basically a strictly streaming service. I'm sure they still do Blu-rays, but that's not their market anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know. But back to that, I'm sure with that Xbox Game Pass, the awesome thing is that once you have that subscription, you download the game directly to your Xbox and play it, but you don't get to keep it. That doesn't make any sense at all.
We'll look into that.
You do a free trial and you just download the entire library. It doesn't make any sense.
Even if it doesn't make any sense.
No, it's still amazing.
Besides that, Xbox is amazing because here's the thing: they're doing what GameFly did, but the reason GameFly was taken off because they were always limited by quantity. With the digital age now, Xbox has the money to throw in the system, and they're not limited by how many games they can rent out.
Just bandwidth, but they're Microsoft. They're fine.
The only thing I'm worried about is, does the money make sense?
That's why it's so good for consumers. They're thinking, how are they profiting from this?
Yeah, how do you profit from $10 a month when one game costs $60?
Exactly. What service is $120 a year?
Yeah. Okay, so let's do.
And you buy 2 games, you already equals that.
Let's sit down and do the math. Does the average gamer buy more than 2 games a year? I would say yes.
Yes. So how are they profiting from this? That's the question.
That's crazy. And here's the thing: how's the with this service? How does the pricing break down with like profit sharing between Microsoft and then the actual game devs?
Yeah, yep, exactly. That's another thing we gotta look at. They gotta look at.
But you know what? There are good signs because pretty much every subscription service in the world's been doing well. YouTube Red, which nobody thought was going to do well. All they did was create more money for everyone else.
That's just Microsoft forward thinking. Yep. They're seeing the landscape of everything. Netflix, YouTube, Red, and then with Google Play Music and all the other music services. They understand we can just subscription. As long as we get this amount of people to commit, we're going to make this much. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, so it's a good start to the year. 2018, nothing but sunshine and roses. Nothing's going to change.
Sunshine and roses.
That's the way it's going to go, right?
That's it.
Right? Anyways, I think that's enough for us today.
That's a good closing off point.
Do you want to do some more teasing of topics we will never hit?
Let's tease another topic we will never ever... Okay, not never ever, but we won't talk about next week.
At some point. Okay, well, next week, maybe... Okay, scratch that next week. No promises.
No promises.
But eventually we will be talking about the Nintendo Switch. I got a couple...
Yeah, I want to talk about the Switch.
I got a couple questions for you because,
Because I have one.
It kind of... Because you have one, it kind of feeds into maybe possibly me getting into it. I don't know. Depends on how our talks go.
It's the first time I heard this.
Oh. That's the idea. I break down vague topics and I never tell it to you until we're recording. That's part of the charm, isn't it?
Yeah, and then another topic. I want to talk about Rogue One in The Last Jedi.
I
know we were late to The Last Jedi reaction, but
we will get to The Last Jedi
eventually.
But we do have very differing opinions on Rogue One, to say the
least. That's the big debate there. That's where the real conversation comes. Rogue One.
Yeah, we're gonna tease that, and actually, one of these days we got to talk about Tesla Model 3.
Model 3.
That may or may not be time sensitive. We will hit that. I can pretty much guarantee you within the next couple of weeks.
I've seen a couple now on my way to work and coming home.
Oh, really? Model 3's in the wild.
Model 3's in the wild.
Ooh,
it's like wow. That's
what color though?
Like a dark gray.
That's the nice one.
And then I think I saw a white one. Those
okay,
are the 2 Model 3s I've seen.
We can't get into this right now because we're gonna start a whole new topic.
We're just teasing.
Oh yeah, okay. Outro. This has been Part-Time Gamers.
Part-Time Gamers. Podcast number 2.
Yep, episode 2. Got to mention that. Thanks for your time, and we hope to catch you on the next one.
Yep. Please catch us on the next one.